You guys, I think I can pretty confidently speak for everyone when I say out of everything we've seen from the 2022 NBA Finals thus far, is that this series has lived up to all of the hype and then some, especially from an entertainment perspective. But, of course, as we all love to dive into the deeper details of a series like this, there is already so much that can be taken away, whether you're talking about the Boston Celtics or the Golden State Warriors. But, at least in my personal opinion, there has been one takeaway far bigger than any other one, and it concerns Golden State. And the funny thing is that depending on who you ask, they could tell you that this takeaway is either extremely beneficial, or they might even tell you it will be the sole reason for the Golden State Warriors' downfall. One sec though guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, subscribe, and turn on those notifications to never miss another NBA video. Love you guys. And for those of you that do, I cannot thank you enough, because according to my numbers, over 95% of you guys coming back to watch the content haven't even subscribed yet. But anyway, let's get back into this portion about the Golden State Warriors that I've been trying to hint at, and some of you have probably been trying to guess as well. And yes, while it could have been the complete 180 that we observed on the defensive side of the ball in Game 2 compared to Game 1, or even the ridiculous ramp up in physicality we saw, anchored by Draymond Green, and I'm sure Warriors fans are praying you see for the rest of the series. But no, you guys, I mean, what we're seeing right now out of Golden State is something they haven't had to deal with in any of their previous championship runs over the last decade. And again, you'll see why some people might look at it both ways, but for what seems to be the first time in a very long time, the Warriors really don't seem to have that proven go-to second star they've had for so many years in the past. Now I know, while this might sound absolutely ridiculous to some of you watching, just hear me out. Because in years past, no matter when you think back to, the Golden State Warriors offense always has and will run through Stephen Curry when he is on the court. In fact, that was even a big topic of conversation last night after the game, with Draymond Green making comments that the offense always started with Steph even when KD was there. But nonetheless, that just adds into my point, that when Kevin Durant was there for that 3-year span, along with Klay and Dre also basking in the primes of their career at this point, I mean, there wasn't just 2 stars, but there was more of an abundance of star power than almost any team we have seen in NBA history. And even back in the 2015 and 16 days, while Draymond Green was more towards the peak of his career at that point, Klay Thompson without a doubt was the solidified and proven second star on that Golden State squad. And while the last thing I would ever do is diminish Klay Thompson, Warriors fans and NBA fans can agree with this, that it's obviously not the same Klay Thompson that we saw in years past. I mean, coming off of an ACL tear, followed up by an Achilles tear, and missing over 900 days of organized basketball, in my opinion, it's one of the craziest things we've seen in a long time that Klay Thompson has come back as good as he has. But with what Golden State has to offer right now, I don't think it's a stretch to say that Steph Curry, with the numbers he's putting up, is pretty much the only person on this team you're guaranteed to get these kind of numbers out of almost any given night. And he's proven it so far in these playoffs. But it's pretty funny when you think back, because looking at this situation we're talking about right now, many people referred to this aspect at the beginning of the season, and in fact some still are to this day, that this in itself would be the underlying reason the Warriors would not win a championship in 2022. But if you somehow haven't realized yet, it is quite literally the best situation they could possibly be in. Because say we want to get into a discussion about the quote-unquote second tier of this Golden State Warriors offense, we are undoubtedly filling this tier with names like Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole, and Andrew Wiggins. And while we take a look at their overall playoff averages so far this year, their numbers could absolutely indicate that any one of them could be classified as the second star on this team. However, so far in these finals, it's been a different story, with Klay and Poole only putting up 13 a game, and Andrew Wiggins putting up almost 16 a game. And with this, of course, we have to give the Celtics credit where it is due, as if you've been paying attention, they have been able to successfully limit some of the key areas of Golden State's offense. But again, what everyone needs to realize is that there are too many key areas of the Warriors offense. Because again, the Boston Celtics, while they haven't just been the best defense this season, but they're also one of the best defenses we've probably seen in quite some time. From what we've seen through the first 2 games, it just proves even more that no matter what you try to throw throw at this Golden State Warriors rotation is that you will never have a complete answer to stop this team. I mean, at least the top 4 that we are talking about. And even if you want to talk about outside of the top 4, the term strength in numbers that coincides with Golden State can be showcased this season more than any other one we've seen in the past, from the top of this rotation all the way to the very bottom. But also, with this second tier of the Warriors that hasn't necessarily showed up to the finals yet, at least to the degree we know they're capable of, the question stands as to how they're going to fix it, because even with a blowout win in Game 2, if you get that production from your second tier in any of the games coming up, while winning the game will almost always be in the possibility realm, it's not going to be as much of a given as we just saw previously. So getting into each and every one of them, regarding Klay Thompson, I mean, besides the fact that he's probably just in a shooting funk right now, he has also been forced into the majority of his shots being extremely difficult. Again, credit to Boston's defense on this. But of course, with game-to-game adjustments, you know the Warriors are going to find a way to get Klay more active in the future, because believe me, they will need it when it counts. Regarding Jordan Poole, I mean, aside from the breakout second half he had in Game 2, he has definitely underperformed as well as to what many people expect. Actually, saying he's underperforming is rather harsh, as he has played his role to a pretty good degree. He knows he doesn't need to drop 30 every night, and he's not going to, but I'm very confident that eventually, when Boston's defense starts focusing on other areas, Jordan Poole will step up when he is needed. And now regarding Andrew Wiggins, I mean, you could make the case that he has been the second star so far in this series from an offensive perspective. And while he might take a backseat in the next couple of games, say if Klay and Jay Poole get hot, the presence he has showcased within the first 2 final games of his career speaks even more to the breakout season he has put up for Golden State thus far. And you know, it's crazy to me that we've gone through this entire video and have somehow barely mentioned Draymond Green and the impact that he has had. But as this video was focused more on the offensive and scoring perspective of the Warriors, that topic might have to wait for another video. But regardless of that, you guys, again, this series has given me everything I could have asked for thus far, and we're only 2 games into it. It's going to be an absolute roller coaster ride the rest of the way. I am still confident it's going 7 games, but of course, we'll just have to wait and see. But also, as it is my favorite part of every single video, I now want to hear what you guys have to think about what you've seen so far. So please let me know in the comments what has surprised you the most from what you've seen in the first 2 games, and also, of course, who you have winning and in how many games. But with that, again, don't forget to go down below and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and of course, subscribe while you're down there. We're coming out with brand new NBA videos every single week around here, you guys, especially with the offseason right around the corner. So as I always say, just trust me, you do not want to miss out. But again, you guys, thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate you all more than anything. You all know this. And I will see you guys in the next video.